we're in Cape Town. This is the strip in Cape Town. It's the most valuable real estate in South Africa. It's got the most beautiful beach in South Africa. It's got the most beautiful women in South Africa. The only problem is you can't swim here. It's too cold. But Lucky over here thinks that he can stay in the water for 5 minutes.
What's the bet? You said one full Bitcoin?
Well, I have a wonderful electronic invention I want you to see. It looks something like this.
It's hot. We're in South Africa, we're in Joburg. I'm gonna update the group on what's going on. I saw a lot of good things moving. I saw Neo moving, which was one of the other smaller positions I was in. But I'm really focused on Bitcoin now and how that's gonna play out. It's kind of been ranging and heading a little bit lower. I thought it'd be higher by now, so I wanna get a better sense of what Bitcoin's doing, what that means for the entire market cycle. And then I'm gonna head over to CNBC and meet Rand and have a good talk with Matt as well.
Because when we go live at 1 o'clock and we discuss the show, and we live, then we live. When I say live, it's not live as in it airs live, but it's shot like a live show. So we try not, if up, we can reshoot it. But the problem is we're shooting 51 minutes and we have 1 hour of studio time. So it's like the swaps are incredibly fast. The show starts off and goes something like this. It goes, total crypto market hits an all-time high of 830 billion. CoinMICROCAP causes an unnecessary correction. Jamie Dimon puts his tail between his legs and takes back his negative comments about Bitcoin. China moves to systematically eliminate mining. We speak to some of the biggest names in crypto to get their view on the outlook for 2018. So we're basically profiling the top names in crypto, and we are going to ask them what they think about 2018. That's how the show starts. I've left you for last. The reason why I've left you for last is we're going to Brian Kelly in New York, then we're going to Vinny in Las Vegas, then we've got Brock Pierce in Puerto Rico, then we got Spencer Bogart, I think he's in LA, then we've got Ronnie Morris who's in New Zealand. So we're going to go around the world, and then at the end of it I'm going to come to you and say, okay, cool, now we've heard everybody else. We've got a special feature. We've got Luke Martin in the studio with us. I'm going to kick it off with what's your outlook for 2018? What are you looking for, etc., etc. That's where my discussion ends. Where do you want to go from there?
So looking at when to be in alts, both in terms of trading and in terms of investing, where I see that going for the next 3 to 6 months, and then sectors within that 3 positions that I want to be in.
Okay, so we're going to talk about sectors, we're going to talk about tokens, entry points. I'm saying to you again, the market loves the meat.
I don't want to give a coin and kind of do it the way that some people do. It's like, if I pick a coin, you see what happens. You know what I mean? I have to be kind of careful now.
So we've heard from the big names in crypto Twitter what they think the outlook's going to be for 2018. I've got a very special guest with me that's flown in all the way from Los Angeles to be live with us in studio. Luke Martin, venture coinist as you call yourself on Twitter. Over 90,000 Twitter followers. Luke, what do you do? What does your day look like?
I'm an investor, I'm a strategist on Twitter as well, so maintaining my positions, maintaining my own book, and then also working with a number of clients and also that audience on Twitter.
And how long have you been trading crypto for?
Trading crypto only since early 2017, so I'm relatively new to this space still.
Amazing, and over 90,000 Twitter followers. Luke, what's your outlook for 2018? What are you looking for in 2018?
Yeah, what I'm looking for in 2018, I'm actually going to show it here on this chart. I like to break things down in terms of Bitcoin and alts. I like to separate the two. So what we're looking at here, this is the ETH Bitcoin channel, showing how expensive or cheap alts are relative to Bitcoin. Up here, the resistance, this red line, you have alts. This is the peak of the last alt cycle in June, and they've been downtrending for the last 3 to 6 months, all the way down to the very beginning of this current alt boom, really. It's a resurgence of alts.
It's amazing. That was amazing.
Yeah, that was good.
It was fast. It was
very fast.
I've got to give you so much footage.
Very fast.
I've got to give you so much. That was amazing. Let's copy everything for us.
Solid. Yeah.
And then I'll take you guys on a little bit of a Johannesburg tour.
So we're just wrapping up here at CNBC Africa. Really cool being on the Crypto Trader Show. Puts me out of my comfort zone, stuff like this. I'm definitely not used to doing any of this, so super thankful, and it's a lot of fun to have stuff like this. Still kind of blowing my mind. Just got to try to take it in stride. Haven't been able to do as much work as I wanted to. I know the market is down today. Haven't been able to place any trades either. But we're gonna go check out the rest of the city. I'll be What's the bet? You said one full Bitcoin?
No, I didn't say
Bitcoin.
No,
not a full.
Look, I'm willing to bet a full Litecoin.
One full Litecoin.
One full Litecoin. If you spend 5 minutes in the water, up to your neck, you stand in the water for 5 minutes on the clock, I'm willing to transfer you a Litecoin to.
I prefer an ETH. Prefer an ETH, just so I can go into an ICO.
Prefer an ETH, but I prefer.
Alright, we'll go Litecoin. We'll go Litecoin.
So one Litecoin it is.
One Litecoin. Standing in the water at the most beautiful beach in Africa.
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Could you put the camera on? Again?
On him? Yeah.
Okay, can we just say that if I win the bet, I'm not taking any responsibility for any hospital bills or life-saving costs that...
Is there something else I should know about the water?
That we may incur.
Is there something else going on?
The water is very...
It's just temperature.
Very fucking cold.
Okay.
I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna drop you guys into your apartment. I'm gonna go to my meeting. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna pack myself a little basket with a bottle of wine and a couple of glasses and cheese. I'm gonna sit on the beach and watch you for 5 minutes.
Oh man.
All right, it's gonna be good.
So after the market picks back up, Rand here is really kind just to transfer a Litecoin over into my account.
You know, my portfolio is up today, actually, ironically, and so probably I'm gonna, not only is my portfolio up, but I'm actually gonna make another Litecoin. So I'm gonna have like a double profit today.
So we just got all set up in Cape Town. Feels like we've been still adjusting to every time zone and trying to get a normalized sleep schedule. And we popped down here. We only spent a day in Joburg. Like I said earlier, we came down here to do a meetup, and my schedule has been so different just this last week. You know, normally I'm just kind of working at my own apartment all the time, looking at the markets, maybe trading a little bit more and working more with my clients. The workflow is totally switched up. Coming to a place like this, Cape Town's probably one of the most beautiful places in the world. Coming from Joburg, we had a small little Airbnb in Melville, and our Uber driver on the way to the airport was talking about how he was able to get out of Alex, which is a township you just saw footage of. And it's crazy because I get messages all the time of people that are in all these parts of the world are in situations they don't really like, and I see it at these meetups and everything too, and just in my own network. Crypto is really changing people's lives, so it's kind of interesting to leave an area like that, come here, and that's what's so powerful about doing meetups and talks like this is I don't really gain any money from it. If anything, I'm spending more money to do this, but the goal of kind of doing that and decentralizing opportunities, hopefully it helps maybe 1 or 2 people out. If thousands of people see this, if 1 or 2 people's lives are kind of benefit from that or are in a better place just by learning basic trading or investing tips with crypto, that's success. One thing, I haven't been able to work too much, one thing I am going to get done today is I'm reviewing an ICO. And one thing that I think all you guys can do out there, especially if you're new to investing in ICOs or if you already are investing in ICOs and aren't doing this, one thing that I would highly recommend is actually speaking or connecting with the team. You don't have to have a bunch of followers on Twitter or anything like that to do this. You just need to put yourself out there. Reach out via email, reach out via Twitter, do whatever it takes. Ask around, see if anyone knows someone on the team. And then if you find it, you can gain so much more as opposed to just looking at the website and looking at token metrics. Obviously I do that, I grade an ICO. There's 4 categories anyways: token metrics, team, token sale process. But this is an extra step and allows you to kind of have more conviction and get a much better sense of what's actually going on. Also eliminate, if you're ever investing in a scam, this will probably, you could find out pretty quick. There's just so many ICOs launching. There's so many different partnerships and stuff that we can work on. It's gonna be huge, dude.
Yeah, I agree. How's that interview?
Yeah, this is in Cape Town now. We rent an awesome venue. There's another guy we're with who puts on shows. So.
I got you.
Yeah, dude. I'm hype. See you later.
Look, man, I'm so hyped. You don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I could push the. Let me know about Miami.
I'll see, because the tickets are sold out. I'll see if it's actually worth going. The only other team that I want to meet again and talk to again is Wanchain. I'm gonna see who else is going. There's the group that I was just with in Dubai is gonna be there too. So it's good to just like keep building those relationships, because then we can find more opportunities in the ICO space. Soon.
I'll hit it big, man.
All right, later. Later.
All right.
That's actually one of my buddies who is going to be joining me now. Just finally convinced. I've probably been talking to him for months about coming out to help me and work with me and build out this company. There's so many different kind of branches that we're gonna be building this through. So that was him at work. It's funny, we were just talking about people kind of getting out of a job they might not like. It's the whole thing that we talked about. It's like the thing with me, like there was so many, like grad school would have been awesome and there would have been some great opportunities there, but to move up in that world, you know, you could be the best in your office, you could be literally the best in your region kind of. There's just such a, you know, moving up that corporate ladder, there's some political things you have to get past and so many things. You might really crush it for the next 5 or 10 years and still only get promoted once or twice and never kind of have that shot if you're working in accounting or something and you want to move into, or you're working in marketing or sales and you want to move into front office, you want to work on actual portfolio management, or you want to be an analyst. You know, sometimes you might not even get that shot. And that was kind of like what I was going to use grad school as a stepping stone for, but it still wasn't guaranteed. So getting able to kind of step in and actually work on analysis, and it's like crypto, like I said, I'm calling Alex, you just have access. You have access to everything. You know, if you want to put in the work, you know, a little bit of luck obviously is always involved too, but the opportunity here is unparalleled, at least for now. All right, so one thing that Jake actually had the idea is to throw 5 questions into the Telegram group that I've been building out ever since I kind of built a Twitter. I'm gonna answer 5 questions from that and really break it down. Hopefully it helps more than just those 5 people. And I think this will be a good reoccurring theme to kind of go over. So I tossed it into the super group a second ago. And let's see what we got. They just fired a bunch in here. Keith here, thoughts and opinions on the impending ZCLASSIC fork. I think trading on Twitter and in so many spaces, and probably how you know me, is kind of glorified. I do a lot more than just trading or more than just short-term positions. Now I have a separate portfolio. That's kind of my philosophy. I separate the investing portfolio from the trading portfolio, because the investing portfolio is a longer time horizon. I don't want to touch those positions, and I can let those run. That's kind of a bet that crypto continues to gain market cap. And then the trading portfolio is specifically focused on earning more Bitcoin. So I usually only take 1 to 4 alt positions in that trading portfolio. ZCLASSIC is one of them for me right now. It's one of my bigger trades right now. I'm bullish ZCLASSIC going into it. Someone actually has a really good video they covered on YouTube. Anyways, when I first found this, it was Christmas. You know, it's 10 times cheaper than it is right now, 97,000 sats. I believe it's up around 0.11 right now. I'm still bullish going into the fork. The only kind of negative scenario is if the fork gets pushed back, or you know, the market is right now is trying to price in, is this thing going to happen? When's the date of this actual fork? But looking at the other Bitcoin forks, Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin Cash, all those things, a lot of them hit the market at $300, $400, $500 bucks. Bitcoin Cash trading at a couple thousand. So if it has even the same valuation as Bitcoin Gold and it can maybe hit the market at 0.02, 0.03, it means it definitely still has room to run. I'm gonna continue holding through the fork, and I want to get that Bitcoin private coin. It combines privacy coins, or kind of a privacy feature to Bitcoin, and then hopefully ZCLASSIC can even hold a little bit of its value. So I'm still bullish ZCLASSIC going into the fork, Keith, and I'm gonna be holding through the fork. Shane has a question. I love these questions. What microcap coins would you recommend researching? So Shane, instead of just giving you my microcap coins, I am in 3 right now though. They're Nebula, which really isn't even a small cap anymore. It was a small cap when I got in. Dubai Coin, DBIX, and also in DNR, Denarius. Instead of just giving you, more coins to go into and shilling, buy this one, and throwing out some chart of a small cap on Twitter, I think what's more helpful is if I kind of just walk through my process really quick. So look for coins sectors that you're bullish on, whether it's smart contract platforms, whether it's privacy coins, whether it's this or that, whatever, you know, gaming, gambling, whatever kind of sector you're into, whatever you're interested in, wherever you think the market, whatever theme is you know, bullish right now for crypto, look for coins that you're already holding that are maybe medium and large cap, and maybe try to find some coins that are smaller that are doing that same thing. After that, make sure to go to their website, go to their Twitters, go to their Telegrams, make sure that, you know, they have an active team on Twitter, make sure their community is growing, make sure, you know, you're looking for coins that are going to continue to build a community, are going to continue to push out updates, and possibly get listed on a bigger exchange. You know, it's just a lot more research, and it's a lot slower game than maybe just picking a couple coins on Bittrex or something. You know, you have to scale into these, and you have to wait a much longer time. So I think that process should help better than just shilling whatever, blank, blank, blank coin. Follow the steps. We have Damijan right here. Is this a standard alt season and Bitcoin is going to come back again, or is the flippening around the corner? This is kind of what I spend the most time focusing on, is market cycles instead of just focusing on micro. And there's a lot of guys who probably research micro coins better than I do, but my whole focus is the macro cycle, what's happening alts versus Bitcoin. If you look back at this alt cycle and the previous alt cycle and the one before it, they all started in January, oddly enough. The way that I was kind of able to time, you know, make the switch to move heavier into alts at the beginning of December was looking at that ETH Bitcoin channel I've highlighted so many times on Twitter. If you haven't seen it, check out my Twitter. I think this is a standard alt season. The only reason I say that is because there's been so many flippenings or anything. I mean, just last week there was one with Ripple. Bitcoin Cash seems to kind of fire up this flippening thing every other month. Maybe something does dethrone Bitcoin in the medium to long term. Right now, I'm treating this like a normal alt season. I'm bullish alts, they have good momentum, and they're still valued, I think, fairly. Katu Nick, what strategy do you recommend for determining when to take profits, how to set targets on alts? I have an investing and a trading portfolio, and this is something I continue to drill in and continue to believe in. The way that I set profits or targets on my long-term investing portfolio, I honestly kind of don't think about it. It's more of a time horizon. So if I make an investment into a coin, suppose I moved heavier into those, I'm filling those longer-term bags over the past couple weeks. The targets for those are more of like a time horizon. You know, I want to be exiting those as the entire alt cycle, or the entire alt market gets expensive. I think what you're talking about is the trading portfolio. So strategy for determining how to take profits, when to set targets. For the trading portfolio, I'm basing all those targets off of, usually they're based off fib levels, or they're based off previous swing highs. So I use horizontal levels a lot. Some other guys use clouds or other things. You know, those are the two indicators that I use the most. And it's just from previous swing highs or Fibonacci extension or retracement levels. One more. We got Ramana in here. What's the fastest way to identify good coin setups out of hundreds that exist? How I handle this, kind of the information overload, and since there's so many coins and more coming out every single day, I have about 10 or 20 coins that I really focus on. That's not to say I won't trade a new coin or learn about a new coin. I'm learning about new coins every single day, but kind of focus on my sectors. So there's privacy, smart contract platforms. Have a few sectors that you really want to specialize in and chart those, or I have a list of coins that I just have charts running on, and then I just set alerts. So if it has a level that I like, that it got hit, maybe it's even halfway to the support, that gives me notification to maybe go check that chart out again, and it might be a good time for a trade. Really is just kind of filtering down and not looking at all 100, filtering down to maybe 15 or 20, and then when you find a good setup in one of those, taking that, because it's impossible to cover it all, and I think you're going to miss opportunities or not be able to manage a couple of your trades as good as you could, or a couple of your investments as good as you could if you try to cover it all. Thanks for throwing those in, guys. I can already see kind of people responding to them and starting that discussion. That group has already exceeded my expectations with how, just how beneficial it is and how much everyone is helping each other in there. I'm gonna keep doing this every single segment we have. Be on the lookout if you're in the Telegram. Just got to downtown Cape Town waterfront. Have a meeting with Matt Brown Show. And we're going to talk about framing up this meetup tomorrow night. We are just heading out of that meeting with Matt and Rand. Solidified the bet, so I'm going to be getting in the seat pretty soon. Just thinking about how tough it is to stay up with a market that trades 24/7, 365. So many events. If you miss a day or two or a week, it feels like you missed a year. And it makes you think about how important it is to have some kind of source, whether it's a refined Twitter feed or a group, whether it's 3 or 4 of your friends that are in this, just to have that refined feed of where you're getting the information. So to drown out the noise for me, how I do that, when I go back, if I try to catch up just scrolling through Twitter or scrolling through some massive Telegram, I'll be lost. It could take an hour, it could take 2 hours. You're gonna miss so much stuff. I have a few smaller groups of guys that my personal friends. Just have some people you can bounce ideas off of, trusted sources that you get information from. It's so important with this information overload we have here in crypto. Of the meetup tonight. I'm excited about that, but first we have to take care of a bigger priority. We have the Litecoin bet. We're meeting up with Rand here. I gotta be in that water, neck deep, 5 minutes, collect my Litecoin. I'm doing this for you, Charlie Lee. We're getting that Litecoin. Oh, all right, time will start when I'm out there.
Going in. Slow down the breathing. Slow down the breathing. Gonna raise the bet? Halfway through, my hands are starting to hurt. My hands are really starting to hurt. Honestly, can't feel my feet or my hands anymore. This could be maybe bad for my health.
I'd say I've lost about half a Litecoin at this stage. He's smiling.
Haha! Litecoin!
He's having the time of his life. I've lost, but it's fun to watch.
All right, I gotta get in.
2 minutes. 2 minutes, I still can't feel my legs. Yeah, I had to trick myself. No, I wouldn't do that again. We have the Cape Town event here in about 40 minutes. It's gonna be Matt of the Matt Brown Show interviewing me and Rand. Just kind of looking at 2 different ways to trade and invest coins. Rand's a lot more fundamental and never really looks at charts. I focus more on charts, but I use fundamentals as well. So I kind of play off that interview. I take a bunch of questions from the crowd, help people understand risk, reward, everything in this asset class. I know a lot of people there's so many different skill levels or experience levels here, so hopefully someone can take something from this and they have a better 2018 for it.
It's a little bit hard to keep a calm demeanor when Bitcoin's probably down a couple K.
That was in January of 2017. The top of this channel is up here. This is when ETH and most other alts hit their all-time high in Bitcoin terms, and then they've been trending down ever since for 6 months. And then that alt cycle just restarted again. So if there's any traders, I don't know how active you guys are, or investors, you probably saw your alts start to do incredibly well at the beginning of December. So this is one of those areas where there is kind of a proven benefit of at least looking at the charts. Whether you're active trading or over trading, I think that's a problem. If you're day trading maybe too much and that's not your background. But using this even as an investor and saying, you know, I put this out on Twitter and said on December 10th, you know, you're probably going to start seeing a lot of people win trades. You're probably going to see, you know, a lot of your friends talking about they just had a 10x, and that's because Ethereum is now in an uptrend against Bitcoin. That Bitcoin dominance is going down. So
I said, am I okay to drink a beer now, or is that unprofessional? That's kind of the things you have to think about. I was also joking around about this before I came. I maybe need to take off the suit and the button down in my profile pic on Twitter, so I can start showing up to events like Brock Pierce with the cowboy hat. Yeah, I'm chilling on the dirt road. And the t-shirt. That's maybe the next rebranding.
Now let me welcome everybody to the Wild Wild West.
So back in Johannesburg, on the way to the second Matt Brown Show with Rand. It's going to be on CNBC. This should be a lot bigger. I'm going to break down some more trades, go over 3 distinct kind of trading styles, just at least on a base level, so hopefully that gives people an idea or an example of what they can look for. Those 3 trades are NEO, which is one of the only alts still moving. The whole thesis with that was all the ICOs coming out, them stealing some market share from Ethereum and starting to get some DApps. So that's moving nice. For Edgeless, it's more of a range-bound setup, so we're anticipating that launch of the casino on the 18th. Gives a nice pop to price, just like the license did last month. The third play is a historical look. I wanted to give one, I feel like I'm in the twilight zone. The third trade is I wanted to give one more look, which is kind of a formation or a pattern play. We're going to be looking at Zcoin XZC. That entry was like back at the beginning of December or maybe November, but the entry was off of a falling wedge pattern. So I'm not going to go too deep into it, but really just looking at resistance and either playing a breakout or playing a retest.
What does a good trading strategy look like? In other words, what are you currently focusing on?
I think what scares most people away from trading and technical analysis is really that a lot of people make it maybe more complicated than it should be. The base of it, using a trading strategy or using technical analysis, you're just trying to get an understanding what risk you're taking and trying to find an asymmetric risk-reward setup.
The private Q&A is done. We're heading into the real show and following Rand here. It's a big party here.
In terms of, from a trader's perspective and looking at narratives, since it is such a retail market, like I said, and it's driven so much on sentiment and so much on themes, what's happening, there was a bit of a theme about, I think it was last month, where coins under $1 were all kind of pumping. A lot of people, I'm not sure if that's because they honestly didn't understand that that's not what makes a coin cheap, and that its market cap is what's more important. I don't know if it's just traders jumping on momentum, they see something going up and they all buy. But those kind of inefficiencies and sense emotions and momentum play such a role here. Those are kind of inefficiencies that someone like me, or if you're trading a lot, can kind of take advantage of. And as you see these $100 coins all rise up, you can kind of find the next one, or maybe jump onto some of that momentum and then pop out if it's not something that you believe in long term.
I was right about to break into some charts. The power went out. That's how powerful these charts were going to be. Is it blew the power.
What's up? Yeah, of course.
I love your macroeconomic analysis.
Yeah.
And I actually bought a shitload of the blood. During that first week in December when you posted that channel. I want to know what are you going to look for to check when the altcoin rally is going to, just when the momentum is going to stop, or what do you look for?
In terms of when it stops? Also, you bought the blood, I love it. What I'm looking for, and I think of things in terms of value and momentum, right? Yeah. So value is that channel. How are they valued? Cheap or expensive? Yeah. So right now we have great momentum, right? It's moving up, and it's right at that midline resistance. So the value isn't so good. It's about neutral. I don't think they're cheap. I don't think they're expensive. Yeah, exactly. So I've been scaling out slowly on the trades. Okay. In terms of my investments, I want to let those run. My thesis when I posted that channel was I think alt outperformed all the way through June. If you look at how long the cycles have been in the past, it's been 3 to 6 months. So I think they continue to outperform. I just don't think they're cheap right now. So I'm waiting. I'm actually hoping that they hit this resistance. Yeah, I'm hoping they hit this, and I want them to consolidate further before going back in. But I want alt exposure. We just finished the event. Just got swarmed by people. Really cool how a couple of these guys were super young getting into it and asking me if it was like too early and stuff. But anyways, absolutely crushed the show. There was a power outage. We still did well. Matt put it on. Matt's right here, coming in hot. Grabbing the
brother, that was amazing. Thank you, man.
Good stuff. So much fun here in South Africa. Definitely going to be back. It's a wrap. We're in Washington. One more flight to catch before we're back in LA. Amazing trip. It was a bit of a vacation for me. Didn't get to do too much market work, but spent some time sharing some ideas, challenging some ideas at those meetups, at those talks. It's good for me. It's like a vacation. Either you rent a yacht or do one of those things. Live in a hotel. In a BitConnect hotel, or you can go out and hopefully try to help some people, share some ideas, learn some more stuff about the market and about yourself. Coolest moment for me was the one guy who came up after the Johannesburg talk and said that he bought the blood at the beginning of December, even though the market is getting crushed right now, absolutely crushed. Huddle gang. I got off my flight and it's all red. He's still up, and I know anyone who's able to kind of time these macro cycles, thinking less short term, thinking more the next 3 to 6 months, is probably still doing pretty well. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys soon.